This is a Fox News alert right now. A giant search is underway after the pregnant wife of a U.S. Marine vanishes. Erin was last seen leaving her home in Twentynine Palms, California, more than a week ago. Her Marine corporal husband reported her missing the day after she disappeared. This 19-year-old woman, nowhere to be found.
Was just tore up. Just tore up.
3 months pregnant and the wife of a U.S. Marine. Erin suddenly vanished just days before her mother planned to visit her for her 20th birthday.
We were going to go to San Diego Zoo and SeaWorld. And, I mean, she was so excited about, that upcoming trip.
That's where the mystery begins.
Corwin's mother says the day Erin went missing, she was on her way to Joshua Tree National Park to look for places for the two to take photos during her upcoming visit.
The story sparking a massive search led by the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office.
Joshua Tree National Park, it's very rocky, dangerous areas. We also have the extreme heat of the desert, wide open desert areas that we've also checked.
And so far, no sign of Erin. But the day after her husband reported her missing, sheriff's deputies finding her car not far from home, leading investigators to not rule out foul play.
You feel like you're walking in a nightmare.
A nightmare that for now has no end in sight. And Erin Corwin's mother, Laura Heveland, joins us. Good evening.
Good evening.
Look, I've talked to so many parents who are looking for children. I know how, at least I think I know a little bit how tough it is, and I don't walk in your shoes, so I don't know how bad it is. But I'm curious, is there any news today, any clues about your daughter?
We haven't gotten any new updates for quite a while. I do know that the Sheriff's Department and the rescue volunteers are working, like nonstop, and I have my utmost respect for them spending all this time in this heat looking for somebody that they don't even know.
The focus has got to be on everybody, people she knows, strangers, family members. So let me, the first question always is, about a husband or a boyfriend. Was her husband been cooperative in the search for her?
Absolutely. He loves her. In his eyes, she has hung the moon and the stars.
And, of course, the even added sadness to this that she was a couple months pregnant and had intended to tell you next week when you visited her.
Right.
All right. So she left early in the morning, and she was headed to a state park to look at camping sites. Do they think she ever arrived there, and that maybe the car that she was on her way home when the car was somehow taken from her?
She was actually just looking for places for us to take photos, and I'm pretty sure that she never got out of the car. When she got into the park, there is no. I don't know of the answers of the questions that you asked.
Her car was found about how far from her home?
It wasn't too far off base.
Anything inside the car that looked like it had been maybe a robbery, like was her purse missing, or anything was it disheveled inside? Were things thrown around?
They haven't given us that information.
So basically, you're just waiting by the phone and hoping that you're going to get some good news any second, and you're not getting information from the investigation.
Correct. If they don't tell us something, then we can't slip and tell someone something that we shouldn't, that doesn't need to be out in the public.
Is there anything we can do? We're putting your daughter's picture up right now. Erin Corwin, 5'2", weighs about 120 pounds, light brown hair, blue eyes. We're putting it up in case anybody knows anything. There's a tip line on the screen. But is there anything else that we can try to do to help you, to make this a little easier as the search goes on?
I don't know what could be done to make anything easier. This is just not something that you would expect to ever deal with. This happens to somebody else, not you.
Any chance you could have just walked away, got sort of frustrated? We've seen that before, and there was a woman down in Georgia who walked away from a pending marriage.
I really don't picture Erin doing that. She was like you couldn't have asked for a better teenager. She started working at 14. She was very responsible. She was so excited about my trip coming up I mean, that's all we talked about. Actually, on Friday, she called me, the Friday before she went missing, and talked about all the ingredients she bought so that Mom could cook her favorite meals. Well, I was here, and we were talking about going to the zoo and to SeaWorld.